Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Torchtales, Stories Behind the Hood. I'm your host, Frank Vargas, aka Traveling Frankie. Here I am at JK Welding with the one and only John King. John, thank you so much, brother, for saying yes to whatever this is, and we're going to find out what this is together. I'm very impressed for many reasons, John, and we're going to get to where you come from, how you got here, and the whole thing, which is what we usually do for the 5 viewers out there, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been in this location?
This location, about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Did it start as big as it is now? You always had all the big buildings, or it kind of gradually got to where it's at now?
No, it gradually. It started out really small. It was just me by myself in a single car garage at my house. Just building cowboy furniture, deer feeders, deer stands, just doing stuff like that, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it just started out from there. You know?
Wow, that's it's pretty cool. And I'll post some pictures, of the place itself. That way you guys know exactly what I'm saying. So that's funny. So you started in a garage, but now let's go back to where are you from?
I'm from Houston.
Houston, born and raised.
Born and raised in Houston.
Never left, came back, just kind of stayed here the whole time.
I spent a lot of time in East Texas and Palestine. I come from a broken home.
Okay.
So, and my parents pretty much disowned me when I was about 14.
Really?
My grandparents raised me, yeah.
Wow.
I had an alcoholic grandfather, a very sweet grandmother, and they ended up finishing raising me and going through high school and stuff. And we used to go visit Palestine in East Texas a lot, yeah.
Wow. That's, there you go, the things you start learning once you start talking to someone. Now, as a kid, growing up in I'm not going to call it a dysfunctional situation, but you know more than me what that was like. How were you as a kid, and what were you into?
I was really into basketball, because
I wonder why.
At 6'8", it's always.
So you were always tall, taller than everybody else, pretty much.
Yeah, I was always tall.
Yeah. Was that always a good thing, or there was a negative side to that?
No, it's always a great thing. In school, I always saw it as a great thing because of basketball and the girls. And then after high school, I didn't go to college.
Okay.
So as you can imagine, I did a lot of dancing and bar hopping, I guess you'd say.
Oh yeah, so you're a dancer too?
Well, I was back in the day. I still go with my wife.
Okay, all right.
It's always seemed rather fun, I guess you'd say.
Of course.
To walk into the bars with me and my brother, who's 6'9". We seem to get a lot of attention.
I think I actually saw a picture of your brother. You guys were somewhere not too long ago, and you guys took a picture.
We were in Vegas.
Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah. I'm a fan. I follow the guy, so I'm not a stalker.
Yeah.
Calm down, guys. So, were you good at basketball?
Yeah, I was pretty good. I had 5 scholarships.
Really?
I never went. Yeah.
How come?
I wanted to be a welder.
All right. Why did you want to become a welder, and how did you get exposed to the welding industry? Was there someone that you saw, something you saw, and then you were like, I can do that?
So my dad shared a shop with another gentleman that owned the welding company.
Okay.
And I started out there as just like a helper.
Of course, yeah. Free labor, yeah.
Free labor, yeah. Someone who cleans up, organizes things, wash cars, and all that kind of stuff. And that blue light just caught my eye, and it was just...
That's why they say don't stare into the light, guys. That's exactly why they say that. There's a reason for it. Yeah. So how old were you when that spark got your attention?
I was 19.
19.
Yeah.
Before that, 18, 17, did you have a clue what you wanted to do, or you just
No, because I was never around that type of stuff like welding or fabrication, because I went to a private school that had no money. It was a very small school. I mean, hell, there was only 43 people in my graduating class.
Wow,
so it was really small. So I didn't have weld shop or anything like that. So I had not been exposed to that,
Really?
Until after high school. Yeah.
So high school's over. You decided to stay around. You saw the spark at 19 or so. Was there anything else between playing basketball before the welding that you even thought about a possibility of maybe I can make some money doing this?
Not really, and if it was, it's something that doesn't come to memory now. It was very quick.
Really?
Yeah.
You start helping at the shop. Now you are getting exposed to somewhat welding. Mm-hmm. What was the first thing that really called your attention about the welding industry?
2 things. Them guys were running some really heavy flux core welding.
Okay.
And also running the torch. We didn't have CNC back then too much.
Of course, yeah.
So the guy was, they run a burn table.
Yeah.
And when they'd have a track torch cutting 2-inch plate, and I was just so amazed at that.
It is, right? It is pretty cool.
Yeah. So those are the 2 things that really caught my eye.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you think that you were an actual welder?
I think that I became an actual welder very shortly after that, within a year or two. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I picked it up quick. I could tell I had a knack for it.
Really?
It was a natural ability.
What's your best process? The one that you like the most?
I don't know. I love them all.
Really?
You know, from silphos to brazing, flux core, MIG, TIG. I mean, I like them all. There's not really one favorite. Stick welding, yeah.
Now you are in your garage and kind of doing some work. Are you getting paid now for some of this work? And how did you start getting any work that people are paying you for?
If I was getting paid, it was very little.
Of course.
And a lot of stuff I was doing as favors sometimes. It was little bitty jobs.
Of course.
But I really advanced myself when I would decide that I wanted to do some welding and making extra money, because I have a really good but bad habit.
Okay.
I love the outdoors.
If I can show you the office, you guys will know what he means by that.
So I had a habit to support, which was deer hunting and fishing.
Okay.
My wife was pregnant, so we're down to one income. So I started doing some welding on the side.
All right.
So, and for me to get some work and make some real money, I had to attract customers.
Of course.
No internet back then.
And yeah, that's because you are great at marketing, and
thank you.
and everyone that follows you will know exactly what I mean. The branding and the marketing that you're doing, it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's at another level where I haven't seen a fabricator do what you do. So, and we're gonna get to that. Now, so you're married. How long have you been married?
Married first time 12 years.
All right.
Second time 16.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well,
the love of my life in high school.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you have kids? Because you just said.
Yes, I have 4 kids.
4 kids.
Yeah, I have 2 stepdaughters.
Okay.
I have a biological son who's 22.
Yeah.
And I have a little boy at home who's 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
And has any of your kids shown any interest in what you do?
Yes, my oldest son especially. He's actually in Blinn Junior College taking welding now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think he's thinking that he's going to come work here when he gets out, but I think that he's got a little surprise.
Did you ever go to school for welding?
No.
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 So self-taught and just watching and everything else.
Yeah, watching. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So now, what was the transition from at the house, working in your garage, doing whatever, to now, you know what, maybe I need a small piece of land. Maybe I can go to the next level, whatever that next level was.
Yeah.
How was that transition and when did that happen?
So after about a year of burning the candle at both ends, working a full-time job, and running my business out of a garage as well.
Yeah.
It got old very fast, there comes a point in time in your life where you've got to realize to make a decision. You hit a split in the road.
That's it.
You got to go left.
I hit
right
the cap.
here.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went around the corner just outside my neighborhood where I lived, and I got a little shop.
Okay.
Little 1,500 square foot shop.
So you're renting.
Yeah, I rented a shop,
Gotcha.
and I had a couple guys working for me during the day while I'm working my full-time job, and it got to where those guys just couldn't keep up anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I got so much work because I was promoting my company and promoting myself all the time.
But how were you doing that? Especially back then that there was not so much.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would go to Home Depot and print out 1,000 flyers, and I would drive around to every job site that was going on.
Fuck.
And also every plumbing supply house, tractor supply, Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere anyone's like needing possibility looking for a welder or something to get fixed or something to be designed.
I'm getting goosebumps just listening to this. And where did that drive or that idea or came from? Like, I gotta go do this, because people will promote themselves like, hey, tell everyone, but to the extent of, hey, let me print 1,000 copies, let me go visit every one of these things, let me go to Home Depot and all that. Where did that drive, where did that idea come from?
I think it's just self-generated from inside, because it didn't come from another person. It didn't. I didn't see it in someone else and like take it on and going, I need to do what they're doing. I don't know. It's just self-generated, man.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
So now you are seeing that this guerrilla marketing, it's working. And that's kind of the spark for everything else that you do now, using the tools that we have nowadays.
Yeah, and besides the flyers, I would go into big businesses or big corporations. And of course, you get turned away really quick.
Of course.
But I learned a tactic of my own. When I would go in, and if there was a healthy girl sitting up front, I would bring her donuts.
Healthy girl. I like that.
If there was a rather slender, thin shaped girl up front, I would bring
smoothie.
A smoothie. I would bring her. I would bring her flowers.
Oh my God! What a great sales guy. I love this guy. Yeah.
But with donuts, I put my sticker on top so they know where it came from. Every time the box comes open, they see that name. You know.
Yeah.
With the flowers.
All 12 times.
All 12 times. Well, no, I used to get a couple dozen. So.
All right.
You know, but people don't understand. $20 or $30 of kolaches and donuts for the possibility of a client for a lifetime. Hey, let me tell you, it's worth it.
I've been doing this for 15 years for the welding industry. I've been in sales for even longer, and it's so dead on. I mean, it's such a small gesture, but they'll remember you. And that's all you want in this whole thing, right?
So that's transformed into a gift shop now.
Which, yes, I know. It's not your typical fabricator / welder, whatever you want to call it. It's not your typical kind of. I've never seen anything like it. So, so now you are getting jobs from that promotion. Now you are exposing yourself. Now you had to either hire more help still while you were renting a small shop, or did you quit the full-time job to now, like, that's it, I got to be at the shop as well?
So I had several guys working for me, like 3 to 5 guys. I don't remember how many.
Okay.
At various times, different amounts. But during while I was working my full-time job, and all of a sudden it just got to where, look, I have got to quit my job. So I quit my job, joined my team, and we worked there for another 6 months, and we had to get into a bigger shop.
Really?
We grew fast within a year. So I went out and got a 5,000 square foot shop.
Okay.
And that was in 2007.
Gotcha.
In 2008 is when Hurricane Ike came.
Yep.
And devastated the coast here in Texas. And I was called upon by Tillman Fertitta's company. That's the gentleman who owns the Chemo Boardwalk.
Okay.
And we were hired to rebuild Chemo Boardwalk after the Hurricane Ike. That was in 2008. Then we advanced into a 10,000 square foot shop.
That hurricane was the start of everything pretty much we see
that
now
was the big
for you
milestone,
guys, right?
Yeah, because I quit May 1st, 2005, and the hurricane hit, I believe, in September of 2008. So within 3 years, I went from the garage to 10,000 square feet.
So even though the whole world was going through the whole real estate issues and blah, 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 you know, that's when the whole system crashed. At least on your end, because of a natural disaster, it helped you to really go to that next level.
Natural disaster and me hustling, putting out flyers and gathering as many customers as we can. And now today we have over 3,000. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you. Now, when did you say, you know, this social media thing, it's definitely such a great tool, and I'm going to just squeeze every ounce of it? When was that transition, and was that always part of the plan? Or was like, hey, there's that tool, let's use it?
So I always paid big money to have nice ads in the telephone book, okay? Back in the day.
This guy's dating himself. I'm not asking, he's dating himself.
Yeah, so I was laughed at from the guy that I used to pay to have big ads in the telephone book.
Oh, so the guy that you were paying, he was laughing at you because
I got out and quit paying him and was getting into this thing called the internet.
Right.
And he told me it'll never work. So my roots, fortunately and blessed enough that my roots are so deep into the internet because I started early when everyone else was laughing at it.
Yeah.
I was getting into it.
Gotcha.
You know, so that's when it started, and that's how it came.
So
about.
I'm assuming, what was it? Facebook first, and kind of.
Facebook was in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was right after Hurricane Ike and all that stuff. I started getting into.
So who was doing all of the posts and all the? Was it you, or you also had somebody else?
So I've done all my own marketing for all of my companies and myself for the last 17 years.
Really?
Yeah. I hired my first marketing person about 2 years ago.
So I'm assuming that you became really good at it, based on the results.
Yes.
Right. And were you one of those guys that where you were Googling how to do this, watching YouTube videos in the beginning too? How do I shoot? Or you just kind of, whatever, this seems okay?
I learned from my own mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a guy who goes to YouTube to learn stuff.
Yeah.
I just kind of dive into it and learn from my own mistakes, you know.
Okay.
That's the way you learn.
I know, I totally get it.
Yeah.
So here you are, 2009, and now you go from a 5,000 to a 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And which is here where we are now?
No,
Still
it
not
was
here?
just down the street.
Really?
Yeah, we were in 10,000 square feet for about 7 or 8 years.
Really?
Yeah,
And then after that,
yeah, we grew out of that place.
so
like
2015, whatever, 2012?
2013, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys came here.
Yeah, I bought this land. I actually cashed in my 401k that I had, bought the property, and I thought, man, it's going to take me forever to pay this property off. And we paid it off like within a year and a half, 2 years.
Dude.
Yeah, and so we used the land, of course, you guys don't know, you can buy a piece of land, use it as collateral to help build your building, and that's what I did. So we built this first building first, yes.
So did you have a mentor? Did you have someone teaching you or also guiding you through this process? Or it's the same thing that you just dove in and you started learning as you went?
So I have a lot of people that ask me that, a lot, and I never have a good answer.
All right, well, hopefully...
Unless you consider my answer is, no, I didn't have a mentor. It's just myself,
Really?
self-generated, yeah.
Well, even more kudos to you, brother.
Well, thank you.
And first building that you built in this spot, how big was it, and is it still here?
It's 22,000 square foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I know that now you have, is it 2 buildings and then some sheds in the back as well? Or
It's 3 buildings. It's a 22,000 square foot shop here.
Okay.
Has a 3,000 square foot office and a 4,000 square foot segregated environmentally controlled TIG shop for aluminum and stainless.
But is that kind of new?
No.
So you've had that?
Yeah, I've had that.
Oh, because for some reason I saw a newer post or not too long ago, maybe.
Oh, no, that's 2 other companies I've already generated. That was aluminumfabricators.com and stainlessfabricators.com. Those are 2 other companies I've generated in the last couple of months.
Really?
Yes.
And all the work still gets done out of here?
Yes. So to me, it's a marketing genius idea that if you want to attract just aluminum customers and just stainless customers, I feel as though a lot of JK Welding's work is kind of shadowed over their stainless and aluminum.
Gotcha.
But I have something here that most people don't have. That's an environmentally controlled TIG shop where there's no cross-contamination from other metals. So, and a lot of people don't have that. And so I want to illustrate and show and display to the world, this is what we have.
That's pretty cool.
So in order to do that, to get more aluminum and stainless work, generate these other 2 companies.
Correct. Just go after that specific demographic.
Yeah, but behind closed doors, everything's still linked to JK Welding.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Do you still do any welding?
Periodically, sometimes.
Yeah.
Time to time.
Yeah, when you're not hunting or fishing?
Well, I used to do a lot more welding when I was affiliated with Texas High School Welding Series. You know, when I would go with the kids and show them some techniques or show them how to weld. Of course. And I still go to some schools sometimes to do seminars and do displays and show how people how to run a lot of torch or run track torch, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, I know you guys, just like everything's big in Texas, right? And so is John. You guys have had the privilege of building some nice big stuff that are like world records and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Tell me a couple of the ones. I know about a cross. I know about a nut. But tell me about not only the biggest one you guys have done so far, but the one that has meant the most to you and why.
So it's really hard for me to pick one that's meant the most to me.
Okay.
I think the cross has more meaning to me.
Okay.
Than anything, only because I'm a Christian. You know?
Gotcha.
And it just had a whole different meaning. It touched that particular cross project touched me in a way that no other projects ever touched me.
Really?
Oh man, when we were offloading that cross and we picked it up, and when we were had 2 cranes, a tailboard crane which holds the bottom of the cross, and then a 150-ton crane that picks it up. And as you sway in it, I was looking at it and going. At that very moment, internally in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's come to this. We've gotten to this level. This is like crazy. I started in my garage. Wait a minute, hold on.
Really?
Know? So I felt that, and I turned around, and I was I turned around, and I was not expecting my wife and my little boy to be standing there. I didn't know they were coming.
Oh, really?
So when I turned around and saw them, I was already on the edge of breaking out a tear already. But when I saw them, I lost it, man.
Really?
I lost it, man. I was bawling. I was crying.
God damn! Now I'm getting teary-eyed.
Oh man!
Yeah.
I mean, it touched me, man. It really did.
That's so awesome. You know, not only to know that you feel that all the sacrifice, all the work you've done to see there and to have your wife and kids.
You need a tissue?
I almost did. I actually no, I did. I know. Stop. Yeah, stop making me cry. Damn it. Yeah. So it's really cool because there's certain experience in life that you just cannot explain.
No.
And it
Can't
doesn't
explain that one.
Yeah, no one can tell you. Oh, did you? Like, no, it's my feeling. I know exactly where I was, how it was, and you have no idea. So I can only imagine. Now, so that one personally was the one that, in a way, touched you in a very human way. So what's one of the other ones that you are very proud of as well? Whether it's sometimes it's not even about size.
Yeah.
But
it really isn't all about size. There's so many different meanings for so many different projects, and there's so many projects.
Yeah.
The top ones that really that I really take in that are just hit home for me, that are really cool, attention getters, amazing projects. Off the cuff. The Ring and Singing Tree is one that is top.
Where's that one at?
Top three. Well, it's the world's largest wind chime.
Okay.
And it's the only one in the United States.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Where's that located at?
Well, it was in Austin. I built it for an old man, and we delivered to his place here in Austin, Texas. It's about 2.5 hours from here.
Okay.
He had it for 6 years. He is of older age, and he sold his property for millions. And the new people that bought the property would not allow this art structure to reside on the property because of liability. So
Gotcha.
he donated this art piece to Abilene, Texas, to the city,
Okay.
along with several hundred thousands of dollars, and was going to give it to Abilene. And he told Abilene, I'll give this to you and I'll donate this to you because you have a very artsy type town, under one condition. You have to call and use John King to move it, no one else. So, of course, they agreed to it. So they called me, and me and my crew went, and we moved it from Austin to Abilene and re-erected it. Yeah.
That is pretty cool just to hear that, people also have that connection and believe so much in the work and the ethics of your work.
The name doesn't ring a bell to most people, but when you see a picture, wow.
Really?
Dude, it weighs 64,000 pounds.
How long did that take?
It took 4 months to build.
4 months. And do you guys deliver in pieces and put it together at location, or?
So we assembled it from the very base.
Okay.
9 levels. And after 9 levels, each level was individually put on and assembled at that time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do most people come to you with an idea of what they want and say, hey, I'm into this or I'm into that? Or do you come up with a lot of ideas just because they say, hey, make me something that is cool?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. So a lot of people throughout my 34 years of welding and fabrication, whether I was in business or not, I've always been able to come to me and going, hey, I have this part and it's broken, can you fix it? Or they come to me and go, hey, I have this problem, I need to build something to solve this problem or resolve this issue. And so I draw up something and I build something. And usually 95% of the time, 90% of the time, when I get done drawing it or making it, they're like,
really?
That's exactly what I wanted, but I didn't know how to show you or tell you,
So do you think you're artistic? Do you think, you also have that...
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. There's no doubt. I'm very confident about that.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because I have the ability and the skill level and the knowledge throughout the years as it grows and grows more and more to be able to look at something and immediately come up with a resolution most of the time. And I have ways of taking ideas and enhancing them to make them even better at times as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How many people work here at JK?
At this location, it varies between like 40 and 50.
Okay, and the other locations?
The other location varies between 8 and 12.
So now, especially when we talk about the other locations, what are the other locations? Because there's the gate, right?
Yeah, there's 2 shops here.
Okay.
And then JK Welding has another location in Jersey Village.
Okay.
It's another fab shop down there. It's about a 10,000 square foot shop down there.
Okay.
My other, one of my other companies is called Trails West Gate Company.
Okay.
It's on Highway 290, 45 minutes northeast of here. It's in a little town called Chapel Hill near Brenham where they make the Bluebell ice cream.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, the gate, do you guys do all kinds of front entrances and gates with all the designs and stuff like that, right?
Exactly, yeah. We design gates and build gates. That company's been in business for 34 years.
34?
Yeah.
It was always yours, or you...
No. I
acquire...
bought it 5 years ago from the lady who that owned it. She did not want to sell her company to anyone other than me.
Yeah?
Her words were, your attention to detail and your eye for art is amazing, and I love the way that you are as a businessman, and I want to sell the company to you. So we got together and we drew up a contract, and I spent some time with her, and she got cold feet. Her and her husband owned it. He passed away.
Got it.
So it was just her by herself. And she's an artist.
Yeah.
She can't run welders. So she can't run hands. She don't know how.
Yeah.
So she got cold feet and went away. A year later, she called me again, got a contract. She got cold feet second time. The third time she called me, she's like, I told her, hey, you can fuck off. You know, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You know? I've already spent so much time with you.
And guess what? Now she's like, oh yeah.
She's like, I'm not calling to partner with you anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, what the fuck you want then? You know? And she's like, I want you to buy the company. I was like, okay, you got my attention now. You're out of the picture. I want to buy it. How much you want? And she told me, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. So I bought it from her. When I bought it, I didn't have a single order. And then this little story I'm going to tell you ain't going to take very long, but it's going to show you how God is looking over my ass, okay?
All right.
Because the day I bought it from her, we went to the title company and signed all the paperwork. Her and I traveled back together, back to Trails Westgate Company. Didn't have a single order. Didn't even have a single employee.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. And a $100,000 order came in within the first 5 minutes of me owning it. And she looked at me and grabbed my arm and she said,
I want my company back.
She didn't say that, but she says, how come this couldn't have happened when I owned it?
Right.
I said, because you ain't living right, girl.
Wow, that's, again, it goes
But
to confirm, right?
It's grown several 100%. Got a guy, Carter Akers, who runs it. He's a really great guy. He runs the company very well. Yeah. It's grown a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How do you find welders?
Man, that's really a hard task, especially these days. Man, that used to not be the hardest thing to deal with back when I started. Yeah. But it's revolved into that, That's become difficult.
Because it's a two-sided question is, maybe I can find welders, but qualified, quality welders. Do you guys put them through training once you find someone here? It's like, okay, this is how we do things here. I know that you call yourself a welder. I know you've been doing this for a while, but this is how we do it here.
So we're a weld shop, not a training shop. A lot of people automatically think that we can just hire a bunch of apprentices or young guys and just train them.
Yeah.
Well, if we did that, then we wouldn't be making any money. Okay? So a lot of times your training is learned on the job.
Yeah.
On the job as you go through different processes. Yeah. That's one good thing about JK Welding. We're so versatile. We do so many different things here, from aluminum to stainless, carbon, pipe, structural, laser cutting, plate processing, you name it. We do a lot of different things, and you can learn a lot in here just accidentally. Right. So we don't have a training program. Never wanted a training program.
Gotcha.
But we do hire occasionally younger guys who come in the shop, and they really advance through the years and grow. Yeah. Wow.
So out of the 50 or so people, how many years? Who's the longest person that's been with you?
A guy named Adam.
Adam?
Very artistic guy that has worked for me for, I want to say 14 years now.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of other guys, I would say 65% of them have been here 5 years or longer. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Are you part of any entities, like either the American Welding Society or anything like that? How do you... Because the reason why I ask that is because sometimes when you are part of something like that, you also get exposed to other people in the industry and so on. And I know that you were going to go to you normally go to FabTech, but I remember you were going to go to a show. I can't remember. I think it was like 3 years ago. And you had said, hey, I'm going to be there. And then out of the blue, something happened. And you said, oh, no, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to go to that show. Was there something specific that happened that you didn't make that show?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is there something that
I'm not going to name any names.
Correct. I know. I don't want you to either.
But there was a show that I was to attend along with good friend Randy Ballard from Alumarill.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Randy.
Just by social media, yeah.
So him and I are really good friends. Okay. He has a very unique welding rig.
Okay.
It's very large. It's huge.
All right.
It's worth a couple $100,000.
Okay.
I have a very unique welding rig as well. I have a 1948 welding truck that has a 1954 Lincoln in the back of it. It's a show truck.
Yeah, gotcha.
I can show you a picture if you like.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were asked to attend this welding event here in the Woodlands in Houston.
Correct.
And we were asked to bring our welding rigs out. And so I asked for us to be compensated, not really for our time. We wanted to donate our time.
Yeah.
This was an event for kids.
Correct.
But I was asking if we could be compensated with some type of funding for our travel, our gas, and our troubles.
Yeah,
it's a big liability to take these trucks out on to events. And this particular organization told us, look, we're not paying you a dime. And Randy comes from Austin. So I mean, it's a haul. It's a lot of gas and a lot of fuel.
No, I get it, and I just wanted to, because I remember saying, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be there."
No one's brought that up, but I'm glad you remember that.
Again, I do a little bit of homework.
Yeah.
But I remember, I'm like, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna get to meet John." Because again, following you for a while, I'm like, "All right," and then the way that the second post came out, I'm like, "Ooh, something happened."
Yeah,
something happened.
It did.
But,
so they told us, "No, we're not giving you a dime."
All right. Hey.
So, and what made me really frustrated and upset with this ordeal that you're specifically asking about was that they were charging students to attend this.
Yeah, it's weird, and again, not judging anyone. You never know someone's direction with whatever they want to run. But yeah, you would think that that's just the fair thing. You're asking someone that might drive more visitors, might drive whatever, and it's one thing. It's just, hey, I'll show up, just me and my backpack. That's one thing. But when you have to put up a whole exhibition,
it got so serious to the point to where every weekend I was attending 1 to 3 welding events every weekend. I mean, time away from my family.
Yeah.
And it got to where I was donating so much to so many organizations. Yeah. It just got out of hand.
Yeah, I bet.
And I didn't know how to say no.
Yeah, I know. That's
and
the
I
hard
want to
part.
help the kids. And I did it for over a decade.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to help kids and do stuff. But I really think, in my honest opinion, it's gotten out of hand. What I mean by that is there's times I see posts of people that have donated like tools and equipment, money, gift cards, and all that kind of stuff. I see 3 young kids, and I'm very thankful that they get all these equipment and tools.
Right.
But there's times I see over $100,000 worth of equipment, and these kids are 18 years old, and I'm like,
they're not going.
You're just giving it to them. Like, I'm grateful that they did well on their test or they got an award.
Yeah.
But this is like crazy, man.
I know.
This is crazy.
I know. And that they're going to end up not using half of the stuff.
Not using half of it.
They'll have a garage sale too.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. No, but I just wanted to kind of hear your version without going into details.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and so here you are now, and I'm gonna use the word successful. Where do you see yourself in the next, not even 5, 10 years? Where would you like to be in the next 10 years?
Well, I'd probably have a really cold Dos Equis in my hand.
I want to be where you are in 10 years.
And I'd be in a fishing boat fishing somewhere or in a deer stand.
Well, you already do that.
Well, I know, but we'll do more of it.
That's funny. Now, what kind of fishing do you do?
All kinds. Bass fishing, saltwater fishing for, redfish, speckled trout, flounder, stuff like that.
Favorite location that you like to go fish?
I love Laguna Madre.
Okay.
I love South Texas.
Yeah.
South Padre.
Yeah.
I fish a lot in Matagorda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you travel a lot outside of? I know you went to Vegas just not too long ago, but do you travel a lot outside of Texas?
I feel like I do.
Yeah.
As far as my hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
Excursions go, I travel a lot out. I go to Kansas every year. I've been going to Kansas for 17 years.
All right.
I go there and bow hunt for a week or 2.
Gotcha.
Missouri, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana, Mexico. Yeah, I travel a lot out of state.
All right.
Even with my family, doing a lot of vacations.
I was going to say that. I was going to ask you next. So, okay, everything sounds like that's your deal, but what about with the family, vacation-wise? What do they like to do?
They like going to the beach.
Of course.
Yeah, and but there's other times we do other things. You know? But it's always seemed the beach life or Caribbean most of the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Dos Equis. Aside from beer, what else do you like to drink?
Man, number 1 in the world is tequila.
Really? Makes sense.
Casamigos, Casa Azul, Mobel. I love tequila.
All right. Are you a big drinker?
I like drinking tequila.
I like certain tequilas. I'm more of a bourbon guy.
I like bourbon too.
Yeah.
But tequila straight all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't drink nothing. Drink it neat, no salt, no lime, but in a chilled glass, and it goes down so smooth, man.
I haven't become that big of an adult yet. Yeah. I'm still working my way there. Now, Do you get a lot of jobs from social media?
Yeah.
You do?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes I get big jobs.
Really?
Yeah. To me, it's all about self-marketing. And I look at, you mentioned social media, sorry. Social media. Let me tell everybody something. If you don't know this now, you've heard it from me. Social media is what you make it. We used to pay for advertisement. You still do on Facebook. If you want to boost your stuff, you can still pay for it.
Correct.
But prior to that, we used to pay to be into the green sheet.
Yeah.
Anybody remembers the green sheet? We used to pay to be in the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Southwestern Bell, all that kind of stuff, And now social media is free. I feel like people don't utilize it like you should. I feel like I do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I feel like that it's exposure. No one's going to market or know your product like you do. So you better market yourself and market yourself properly. If you want to be successful, quit taking fucking selfies and start showing your work of what you do and who you are, and we show your skill set,
Yeah. Shit, I take selfies.
Well, I do too, but if you want to get somewhere in life and be successful, I guess you could take more selfies once you become more successful.
All right.
But if you're wanting to become successful,
taking notes.
If you want to become successful, take less selfies, okay? And take more shots of your work and explanation of your work, of what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, that kind of stuff,
Hey, there's no way I could have said that better. Whose shirt is that?
Man, this is old outlaw leather right here, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to give him a plug because, good friends of both of ours.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to see them later today. So I see you have a banner. You also in your shop, in his gift shop, which is, again, I'll put a picture up too so you guys can see it. There's nothing there that it's not branded. And talk about, again, we go right back to branding and having your name out there. When did you start your clothing line?
I would have to say many, many years ago. Yeah. But it's been enhanced over time.
I bet. I can imagine.
The gift shop that we have here, people are like, why do you have a gift shop? I'm like, well, the Astros and the Rockets have one. Why can't we have one, But no, seriously, the gift shop took place of the donuts and the kolaches and the flyers.
Okay.
It's another way to promote. I like doing it because I hear from everyone that no one does it. So I like being that guy. Yeah. I like being different, I like being patted on the back because I did something for someone, because they're going to remember me later. And it comes around. There's a guy that called last week going, hey, I was calling you. My name is such and such with such and such company. I'm calling you because I have a job that I need you to do for me. And I'm like, okay, how'd you get our number? He goes, there was a guy in the break room this morning drinking coffee out of one of your tumblers. And I saw your logo and I Googled you and I called. Now, if that ain't marketing, I don't know what is.
That's so true. That's amazing. I knew I was gonna like your story just based looking from the outside, looking in, at some of the stuff that I've seen, throughout the last few years as a fan. So I'm like, you know what? He just looks like a very interesting self-made guy. So I can't wait to have this conversation. And I wasn't too sure in the beginning. I'll be honest. I wasn't too sure. I'm like, I wonder, But I hope it's what I think, which I think definitely. I'm grateful and I'm very honored to have you on the channel.
Thank you.
Because your story, where you come from, how you got here, how you are still here, it's amazing. Especially your beginnings.
Thank you.
Definitely.
That means a lot.
No, it really does, brother. And is there anything else that you would like to share with our two fans out there?
Be humble, be courteous, be kind to people, be helpful. Sometimes it ain't all within the talent of who you think you are. And if you think you're the best welder and fabricator in the world, you better think again, because there's always somebody better. But always be helpful and be kind to people and always help one another out. That's all I can tell you, man. It's the best advice I can give you.
Shit. That's why I asked him, because there's no way I was going to top that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. JK Welding, John King. I hope definitely you guys will see more. These guys just hasn't really reached the top yet. Maybe the top of the ceiling, but definitely thank you guys. I hope you guys like the content. Keep supporting Torchtales. This is what we're here, just to share the journey and path of people in the industry. And just keep watching. I'll be somewhere else with somebody else. Thank you guys.
Welding.